Pakistan is set to hold two key economic meetings in early June that will shape the country's development priorities, spending plans, and growth targets for the next fiscal year. According to government sources, the Annual Plan Coordination Committee, or APCC, is expected to meet on June 1st, followed by the National Economic Council meeting on June 3rd, chaired by Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. The meetings are expected to approve a combined national development program worth more than 3.5 trillion rupees, along with a new macroeconomic framework for the 2026 to 27 fiscal year. Officials say the government is currently targeting economic growth of around 4.1% next year, while inflation is projected to remain elevated at roughly 8.5%. The scheduling of the meetings also suggests that Pakistan's federal budget presentation may now shift to the second week of June instead of the first, partly because of the Prime Minister's engagements ahead of Eid al-Adha. The APCC and NEC meetings are among the most important parts of Pakistan's annual budget process. They review the outgoing year's economic performance and approve targets for growth, spending, and development before the federal and provincial budgets are finalized. NEC, which includes all four chief ministers alongside federal ministers, serves as the country's top forum for coordinating economic and development policy between Islamabad and the provinces. At the center of the upcoming discussions will be Pakistan's Public Sector Development Program, commonly known as the PSDP. Sources say the Finance Ministry has proposed an indicative federal development budget of around 1.126 trillion rupees. However, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has reportedly instructed officials to explore ways to raise that figure closer to 1.5 trillion rupees by including additional development schemes linked to state-owned corporations. That ambition, however, could collide with IMF limits. Under Pakistan's current IMF program, the fund has projected a lower federal development spending target of roughly 896 billion rupees for next year. The difference reflects the familiar pattern in Pakistan's budgeting process. Governments often announce ambitious development spending plans for political and economic signaling but later reduce them as revenue targets fall short and IMF fiscal conditions tighten. That happened again this year. The government initially announced a federal PSDP exceeding 1 trillion rupees, but the program was later reduced to around 827 billion rupees in line with IMF estimates. Officials say the Planning Commission had originally requested nearly 2.9 trillion rupees for federal development projects based on sector demands that totaled almost 4 trillion rupees. The Finance Ministry declined to approve such a large allocation because of fiscal constraints and IMF commitments. Meanwhile, provincial governments are expected to increase their own development spending significantly next year. Provincial development budgets are estimated at around 2.5 trillion rupees compared to roughly 2.1 trillion rupees this year. The broader challenge for Pakistan remains balancing growth ambitions with economic stabilization under the IMF program. The government is trying to maintain investment in infrastructure and development while also containing the fiscal deficit, managing inflation, and meeting strict financial targets linked to international lenders. For ordinary Pakistanis, the upcoming budget will likely determine everything from fuel prices and subsidies to taxes, development projects, and broader economic opportunities at a time when the country is still navigating inflationary pressure and regional economic uncertainty linked to global energy markets.